Have you ever overspent on makeup? Have you ever reflected on your previous makeup purchases to make sure that they were actually good purchases? No? Well, I do that here on my channel. Every month I take a look at the products I bought in the makeup and beauty sphere 1 year ago, so August of last year. I go through my makeup collection and pull out the stuff I bought. I have a spreadsheet where I have everything listed out to make sure that I don't miss anything that I might have gotten rid of. And I take a beat to reflect on those purchases. Now, I am a YouTube content creator and I sometimes buy makeup to review and explicitly to review, but I also buy makeup for myself and my own general interests. And those are two different types of purchases. And whenever I look back on them, I think about them a little bit differently. I think most of what I bought this month was for the channel specifically, but there are some personal purchases in here as well. So I think we have a good mix of everything I like to talk about. If you are new here, I would love for you to subscribe and stick around. The first products I have listed were two products from the brand Blend Bunny. They did a collaboration with Ellis Atlantis last year and I bought two of the palettes. First we have the Imperial palette. This is the cool toned edit of a larger palette. So Ellis put together a warm and cool toned palette and then it was split up into two 12 pan 15 pan palettes, and this is the cool toned version, and I wear a lot of cool tones, so that made a lot of sense for me. And then I also have the Garden of Stars palette, which is a bunch of shimmer shades, and I thought this collaboration was really great. I have shat upon the brand Blend Bunny for many years, having never tried it. But my problem with the brand is that I feel like a lot of their output looks very similar to previous output. And to me, that just is not something that I'm going to spend a lot of time thinking about. Their rainbow palettes. They do a lot of rainbow palettes, a lot of variation on rainbow palettes. A lot of their collaborations are iterations on rainbow, and I just don't care for that. I do not wear a lot of bright punchy colors when I wear makeup. Every now and then I do, but it's just not my regular. So it's just not a brand that really sung to me. But when Ellis did their second collab, because they have also collaborated with them before, and I thought that was just the same kind of rainbow bullshit that every other Blend Bunny palette had. But this had a much more of a stronger vision. It was much more pared down, I felt. And I just liked the idea and the way it was set up. I don't really normally watch promo footage before I buy something. I just buy stuff based on vibes and the way it looks and will I use it. Now, this was definitely for the channel because I try a lot of formulas. A lot of my audience likes Blend Bunny and I couldn't speak to that formula until I had tried it. And as time progresses, I want to spend more of my money and time focusing on indie brands, smaller brands, brands that are maybe not as bad as some of the really big brands that we see in Sephora and Ulta. So I just wanted to try something like that. I do believe you can buy some Blend Bunny stuff through Nordstrom's website. I don't know if anything is available in store, but that's also really cool. I'm glad that they were able to make that happen. My disdain for their releases does not necessarily mean I disliked Blend Bunny. I just wanted to see something different, and then they provided something different, and I said that's something different that I'm interested in. When it comes to the Imperial palette, I do wear a lot of cool tones, so buying the warmer version or having the version of this that has the warm tones in it as well wasn't going to work for me. I wear a lot of gray, black, smoky eyes. It's just what I really like to do. And when I do like to wear color, I often wear a cool toned mauve pink situation. So this was pretty perfect as far as a matte palette could go for me. But the real question I was trying to answer is, are Blend Bunny's mattes really good? And the truth of the matter is, despite all of my shitting on the brand, they are very good. They are some of the best indie mattes I've tried. They're very blendable, but they're also very pigmented. If you've ever tried bellabeautébar, their mattes perform very similarly. Something I struggle with some indie brands is that their matte formula is too pigmented and I can't work with the formula the way I like to. Just because I like to work with formulas a certain way doesn't make that better or make the eyeshadow worse. It's just how I prefer to apply. So I like to get my brush loaded, I tap off excess, and I want to have a slow to medium quick build of the eyeshadow, meaning I don't think that one swipe shouldn't apply the entire pigment. I want to be able to do some beautiful blending before I focus on building it up to have a stronger color. And these have a much stronger pigment load, but afford me the same blendability as something of a Viseart or a Hindash eyeshadow would. And for that, I'm very grateful, and that makes these really good. Blend Bunny kind of since this collection hasn't really put out anything that I've been super interested in, but I do keep my eyes peeled for what they do. I, in general, think the brand is pretty cool. When I travel, I will often choose these mattes to take with me. These are magnetic and you can depot them, which I really like. So I'll just depot a few shades here and there to take with me on a trip to use for my smoky eyes and bring other stuff to figure out the rest of the smoky eye. Really good. I really like that it's magnetic. I really like that setup. Really good. And speaking for this palette in particular, I feel like I use it a lot. I love to travel with it. I pull it out a lot when I don't know what else to do. I know I'm going to get an excellent blend, an excellent look whenever I use these mattes. So it's a win for me. And then whenever we talk about the Garden of Stars palette, I have been paring down my makeup collection for the last couple of years. If you watch my declutters, you'll see that my collection started incredibly large, it got less large and less large, and I think my makeup collection is really manageable, especially for someone who talks a lot about makeup on the internet and gets PR and buys stuff for review. That's not a brag, it's just where I'm at as a makeup wearer. I don't wear a lot of bright, fun, colorful looks anymore, but this really affords me the opportunity to choose a color and then do a look based on it. And that's really nice for me. These are not my favorite shimmers that I've ever used, but they are perfectly serviceable. And while this is going to be really exciting for some people, I view it as very utilitarian. All these shimmers are really beautiful. They wear well on my eyelids. They're just like nothing to write home about. I have more exciting shimmer formulas in my makeup collection than these. But I don't wear a lot of green, for example, and there is a couple green eyeshadows in here, so if I want to do a green eyeshadow look, I can still do that without having a palette dedicated to the color green. This is just really great options for me. Like the other palette, these are magnetic, you can pull them out, and I have taken these on trips with me, not the whole palette, but just like some of the shades with me on trips with some of the mattes from this palette. Incredible. I think this was a really smart collection from Blend Bunny, a really wise collection that Ellis put together. I really get it. like the way that it was like set up and sold. It's like my brain also works like that when I wear makeup. So I already thought that these were good, but a year later I still think they're incredible. And they're two eyeshadow palettes. So if you are new to me, I don't really love eyeshadow palettes anymore. I would rather have like a quad if we are doing a palette, and some people don't even consider quads to be palettes, but I just often am doing like eyeliner smudged out and a sparkle on top of that, and that's really how I like to wear my makeup most of the time. So for me to have kept these in my permanent makeup collection for the last year, since talking about them on my channel, really speaks to the quality of these. So Blend Bunny eyeshadows, really good. I don't know if I'll ever buy from them again, but these were really good for me. They work really well for me. And I'm glad I have a point of reference to try them. So when I try eyeshadows, if they remind me of these, I can refer back to them and people will know what that means. So it's also helped me as a content creator too. So excellent purchase. Really great. The next thing I did was make a purchase from Phyto Surgeons. I don't know if this is correct, but it might have been right after they made the announcement that they would stop selling eyeshadows to the United States. Just to reiterate, you can still buy Phyto Surgeons blushes and their skincare in the United States. The eyeshadows are the only thing they don't ship to the US. So I rechecked my shopping history because I was confused. I was like, I don't think I bought Lunar Lightwave this time last year. I didn't. I bought 3 of them to take to Creator and friends to give out, but it was last call on the eyeshadow, and that's why I bought them. Anyway, that's why I bought 3 Lunar Lightwaves in this purchase. This is making more sense. So the only thing I kept out of this purchase, even though I already have Lunar Lightwave, is the shade Sear. So this is actually a blush shade that I forget I have often. Whenever I'm using my Phyto Surgeons blushes, I'm using a couple in rotation very often. I use Plume, Condensate, and Wisp pretty regularly. Those are all cooler toned shades, and Phyto Surgeons does a really good job with them. But they have some of these terracottas that have some blue in them. Not that they make them look blue on your face, but that blue on my skin tone, which has a lot more pink in it than I think some people's skin tone has, and I'm pretty desaturated overall in my skin tone. This is the kind of terracotta I can wear and it won't turn completely orange. It will still hold that terracotta look on my skin, and that's what I really like about it, because I've always really liked terracotta blushes, but there's just a little bit in there that makes it a little more wearable on my skin tone. I don't wear a lot of looks that I think Sear warrants me really having. I can almost work plume, condensate, and wisp into any look I'm doing, but I very rarely am going warm enough to pull this off, even though it is, when in the grand scheme of a reddish blush, kind of neutral in that way. It's still not something I'm reaching for very often in my looks. So for that, I would say this purchase was unnecessary for me, and it was unnecessary for me. I was buying stuff to gift, and then I said, why not, while I'm here, buy myself another blush? So this wasn't the wisest purchase, but what I will say is at Creator and Friends, the way that we gave away the stuff that we had brought was kind of like in this really demented version of White Elephant. People were fighting over that eyeshadow, which made me feel good. I do really like Lunar Lightwave. I don't know if any of the people who ended up with it are still loving it. If you are a Creator and Friends friend of mine and you ended up with one of these, let me know if you still like it. I love these. I love them so much. I'm so sad I can't buy them. I made a purchase from Sephora that contained a couple of things, a couple of pieces of skincare. People had been asking me to try the Kulfi mascara last year. I think it launched last year, early in the year, and I finally broke down and tried it. If I remember correctly, it was a tubing mascara, and I really liked it. And that's all I can remember. I never rebought it. Something that has happened more recently with mascaras, when I try a new one, specifically tubing, but not exclusive to tubing, because it happened with the Tower 28 mascara. These mascaras will go viral from the first couple impressions when people use them, and then they don't talk about the follow-up. If I remember correctly, this Kulfi mascara dried up on me quite quickly, and that pissed me off. While it's not the most expensive mascara one could buy, it still is more expensive than a drugstore mascara. And while I liked the way it looked, as soon as it dried out and started getting kind of crusty and flaky, it just didn't wear or look as beautiful. And that was the same for the Tower 28. I don't think it's a bad mascara. I understand why the people who really love the Kulfi mascara really love it. It's just not for me, because I'm also not an everyday mascara wearer. So if it dried up on me over the course of 2 months, which was quite quick for a mascara to dry out on me, if I was using it every day and more air was getting into it, I have to imagine it would go out faster, but that must not be the experience everyone else has. People seem to really still like that mascara. And then the last thing I bought August of last year, which this really proved to me that time is a flat circle, and I don't understand the passage of time, because I swear I just bought this. I swear, if you were like, Tom, when did you buy that? Before I was looking at this spreadsheet, I would have been like, I bought that last month. I know I really didn't buy it last month, but I surely wouldn't have said a year ago. And that is the m.ph Skin, what is this thing called? The Underpainting Face Palette. I have the shade Light. This is when the original 3 launched. I think it's when the brand launched. I didn't buy it right away, but I did buy it. So people who were here and people who know me quite well and watch the channel regularly were like, what the fuck is Tom doing? I don't like palettes. I don't like face palettes, and I don't really like bronzing, contouring palettes. So everything about this screams like a product that I shouldn't like. And I agreed. I also have a problem with her just kind of taking the term underpainting and run with it as if it wasn't something that people had been doing forever as a technique. Drag performers, stage performers, underpainting is a pretty big part of their process, because it allows you to have makeup that lasts longer, and it allows you to do some more subtle things that most people don't care about or need to do IRL. So that was my problem with this. I love her smoker brown 90s, late 80s aesthetic. Everything was this color in the 90s. If you weren't there, this was what everything was, this color, and I really like it. So it kind of has a little bit of a nostalgia feel. I don't know why this brown really does it for me, but it does. It does. And also, aren't her little lipsticks called Siggies? Little lipstick Siggies? I know what she's after, and I see the vision. Then we move to the product of the inside. The quality of the formula of the creams is really good. It is really good. It's good. The problem is that it's in a palette format. I don't really love these contour colors, because that looks orange in the pan to me. It's not orange. I'm aware of that. But it's My skin pulls everything warm as is, so if I can see that it looks warm in the pan, I know it's going to be even warmer on my skin tone. And while this looks quite neutral next to it, it does still pull a little bit warm on me and looks more like a bronzer than a contour, but I can more easily bronzer with this than this shade. And then when it comes to the concealers, these both work for me. I can use them both. And then the color corrector, up until I started shaving my facial hair this year, I wasn't really using color corrector a ton. I have not tried this in my beard area, but I need to. But if I put this up in front of here, hopefully you can see it. There's a lot of dip happening in here, and I do use this regularly. This is not a product that I think a lot of people would have a lot of use cases for. It feels very makeup artist-y, but I also don't think it's friendly to the makeup artist, nor do I think it's friendly to the consumer. I don't think most people need 2 contour shades. If you were like, that's a contour, that's a bronzer, I would buy it a little bit more. I also understand that we have like a lighter and a more regular skin tone shade for the concealers. I think that if you narrowed this down to like a customizable 4-pan, it would make more sense to me than the way it is presented here. I also think that she could have, and I wish she would have done it this way, made these cream foundations that also had bronzer and contour shades in them, and you could customize these palettes or just sell those in bigger pans, because the truth be told is I like the formula of these a lot better than her liquid foundation, which I don't think looks as good on my skin as these. So I would much rather wear these, and I don't even really like cream foundation, but I think she did a really good job with this formula. The last part is I don't think most people need to underpaint, so this is like a thing that was created to make people feel like they needed an extra step to their makeup, and I hate when brands do that. Not that this brand feels big enough to do that, but like a big brand could do that, and that's what fucks me off about it. But that doesn't mean I don't think the product's beautiful, and I keep reaching for it. I keep using it. There's really deep dips in some of these shades, which I use. And whenever I use this, I don't use it as an underpainting palette. I just use it as my foundation, concealer, bronzer, contour, all in one. So I like it for that. It's good for that, but it's just like, it's unnecessary. It's like unnecessary as a thing. So I think it's a good product. I think it's an unnecessary product. And those 2 things battle in my mind when I talk about like, is it a good purchase? Do I recommend it? I think as far as buying it and having an opinion on it, I think it was good for me to buy and talk about on the channel and have that kind of frustrated feeling and explain that. And I do use it a lot. So I think this is a win overall as far as a purchase I made last year. I think it's really good. So yeah, I actually, now that we're wrapping things up, that was the last thing I purchased. I really think I did a pretty good job. The only real purchase that was like directly for me was the Phyto Surgeons blush. And that was a fail because I didn't need it and I very rarely wear it. But 2 things I bought for the channel became personal faves. So the Ellis Atlantis collab with Blend Bunny and the m.ph, while I bemoan its existence, I do use a lot. And the mascara and the skincare I talked about that I had purchased this time last year, I used it all up. So that's good. Whether or not I bought the mascara again is fine. I did use it until it was no longer usable for me. So I think honestly, in that case, this is a very rare situation where like everything still exists in my makeup collection. I can still use it. I think it's good. I think I did a pretty good job. And I was about to go on a trip, so I did spend a lot of money right before going on a trip. But whatever. That was what I did last year and it was fine. It was fine. Anyway, that's gonna be it for me. Thank you so much for watching. Remember to check out my pinned comment, and there will be links to support people who need your help right now. If you have additional funds to support any of those causes, please do so. I'm on Patreon and I have channel memberships. I just did a full face of Cheer Up and other products from Yes Style. I don't know if it will be out by the time you watch this, but if you ask me about what's on my face, most of it is KJ or C Beauty. Most of it is Cheer Up, but not all of it is Cheer Up. So if you were gonna ask, you'll just have to hold your horses. And if you are a patron or member, it's either out or will be out, or if you want to join to see it when it does come out, you can do that. No pressure to join Patreon or my channel memberships. That's just an additional way to support me, not necessarily a better way to support me. Ultimately, I am happy that you are here and alive and hopefully doing the best that you can. I think that about wraps it up for me. Thank you so much for watching. Remember to follow your hope and you'll find me, and I'll see you in a video very soon. Go forth. It's out.